That's why
Very
we call
nice.
it family naan. We are family before here.
Good afternoon and welcome to India. I'm back here again in Delhi and I'm showing you something different. A lot of the foreigners that come here and film videos always go to Old Delhi. So I want to show you something a little different today and something really special. We are here today at Bukhara and we actually have special permission to go into the kitchen. If you do any research on this restaurant, you'll see some of these legendary dishes come up over and over again. One of them being dal Bukhara. They have tandoori meats. They have a giant naan. It is amazing. I am so excited to take you into the kitchen for a never before seen kind of experience. Let's head in there now. Let's go. Step inside Bukhara and you're stepping into a piece of living history. Not just one of India's most celebrated restaurants, but a temple of fire, smoke, and unwavering tradition. For over 45 years, this place has served the kind of Northwest frontier cuisine that speaks of rugged mountain terrain, wind-battered borders, and recipes born in hardship and passed down with pride. From the wilds between Afghanistan and Pakistan, straight into the heart of New Delhi. The menu hasn't changed in 4.5 decades, and that's exactly the point. No gimmicks, no seasonal specials, and no chasing trends. They've got what works and they know it. A devotion to craft that doesn't just earn awards, though they racked up more than their fair share, including a spot among the 50 best restaurants in the world. World leaders, celebrities, and dignitaries have eaten here. Barack Obama didn't just dine at Bukhara, he left his signature on the menu. You don't just eat at Bukhara, you feel it the second you walk in. The scent of smoldering charcoal lingers in the air, clinging to the walls of this beautiful place. The open kitchen roars with heat and life. There's no hiding behind swinging doors here. Everything is on display. You get to watch Chef JP Singh and his crew move like a well-oiled machine, pulling sizzling kebabs from tandoors, spooning out that molten, incredible dal Bukhara that simmered overnight like some kind of sacred ritual. Chef JP isn't just a chef. He's part of the origin story here, a keeper of the flame quite literally. So let's get closer, past the tables and into the kitchen to see where the magic happens and hear his story firsthand.
My name is JP Singh and I am the chef of Bukhara. And since I am here since 1991. So I am with ITC since 1981. But then I was in Mumbai earlier, then I came back here to this place. And since 1991 I have been looking after that. I have a very beautiful team of chefs here who don't leave us. And in today's days of change, the USP of the restaurant, the menu will never change. We don't believe in changing the menu often on as a global trend.
Yeah.
Because we believe whatever we are making is the supreme and the most primary stuff, which is authentic and it remains the primary ingredients. Anything innovation is done out of these only, and then you create more and more dishes. But we want to remain to the grassroots level. We want to maintain the secret, and the menu has been since 1978, since the inception of the restaurant. So this restaurant is iconic. 99% world leaders have been eating here.
Yep.
And as I becomes itinerary on their part, whenever they are around this part of the globe. And when you are in India and in Delhi, you must have one meal over here. Each and everything has been taken and created so carefully into and we also use locavore, so all local ingredients. We don't have any imported meat sale or anything. And also we have a wide variety of vegetarians because in India a lot of vegetarians are there.
Right.
Rather globally, vegetarians are trending more and more.
Right.
They're growing more. And more.
Right.
So to keep their needs also in mind, we also keep them retained also.
Of everyone that has come to visit you, what's your most memorable experience here so far?
Yeah, I would say all the leaders are they are respected here. And however, the most charismatic leadership I found in Bill Clinton, who came here 6 times, including his family is off and on. And he was the one when he came in the first visit, he was sitting on the same table there.
Okay.
And he had a lot of securities around, but we never closed the restaurant to the public. It was open to public. And maybe besides the tables were occupied by US guys, but he was there. We were planning to have a photo session outside on the restaurant side. And then suddenly he got up, he said, no, I'll come in the kitchen. So all of a sudden he decided to come in the kitchen. Even his security got a little surprised. And so he came here. We all got packed here with a program. All the different department people also came in. So he was very jovial, nice.
Yep.
Sometimes we want him a little taller.
Yep.
He bent down to facilitate the photograph at the back. All also here he went on different tables to meet the people.
That's nice. That's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was very, very jovial kind of.
He had a good time.
Very nice. Also, David Cameron, the UK Prime Minister. He also, I went and met him and he said, I want to really see how you make the breads. So I was very inquisitive. I brought him inside and I was making things. And he also wanted to try hands. While dining, Bukhara is all about, it's a participating. You'll see the concept itself invites larger gatherings.
Yeah.
To have a more family sort of environment.
Yeah.
That's why you see, we hardly have smaller tables with 2 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Sitting. They are larger tables.
Yeah.
We want a lot of people to come in a family or a friend in a big circle.
Yeah.
And that's why we call it naan Bukhara or a family naan.
Yeah.
Which is good enough for 5 to 6 people. So once it goes on the table, it creates a lot of wow and system.
Yeah.
And people start breaking from the same bread. And it also brings a lot of cohesive bonding within the family.
Yeah.
So each and we were having from the same bread.
Yeah. And even having this open kitchen too.
Yeah. So,
everyone's kind of involved.
That, this was probably one of the first kitchen in India which are protruded within the restaurant.
Okay.
And it also poses a challenge to you to keep yourself in a more hygienic level.
Yeah.
Because people are watching at you. You got to keep your area clean. You got to be very clean.
For sure.
That also was a good challenge, and that's how we have been trained.
Yeah.
So we also want to showcase ourselves at any given time. You are right.
We just met Chef JP. He's been here from the beginning. He is an amazing guy, so friendly, welcomed us into the kitchen, showed us everything from the dal that just slowly stews and bubbles all night long. All of the skewers that are hanging from the wall, everything has been pre-marinated and it is ready to go into the tandoor. It's colorful, it smells amazing in that kitchen. And then the naan station. Oh my goodness. What an amazing time watching them pump these naan out. They are expert level at creating these, and that giant naan, fitting that into the tandoor, that was an amazing experience to watch. Chef JP told us, "Are you allergic to anything?" I said, "No." He's like, "Great, I have lots to give you." So I think we're gonna have a lot to try today, a lot to taste. It's going to be a challenge, but I think everything's gonna be so delicious, it's gonna be hard to stop eating. So we'll wait for the food to arrive and then I'll show you when it gets to the table. Oh, it's tender. All right, we have the first round of dishes that have come to the table. We have the fish, looks like it's been marinated to perfection, and then the prawns, which are absolutely massive. So let's dig right into the fish. When I picked it up, it was almost falling apart, like super tender. All of the spices are made in-house. Everything's made by the chef, so everything is really controlled. So let's try this. Oh man. Okay, so first of all, the meat is incredibly tender. And then the marinade on top, oh my goodness, full of flavor. These are nice, big chunks as well. We are in for a treat. Now we gotta try the prawns. So this is just a very small piece that I've broken off. It's huge. Let's give it a try. Oh, wow. With this one, the flavors of the charcoal really come out. It's got a little bit of a smokiness. Let's try this piece at the end that has been crisped up really nice. That's gonna be good. It's got just enough integrity that it's got a little chewiness, but the rest just falls apart in your mouth. Really good start to this meal. We didn't stop there. The next wave hit the table. This time, it was all about the chicken. First up, malai kebab. Tender, marinated in cream, grilled just long enough to hold its shape but melt the moment it hit your mouth. Then came the full tandoori chicken. Charred skin, deep red spice, and smoke that clung to your fingers. I pulled out the drumstick. Still hot, the kind of flavor that only comes from charcoal and patience. Finally, a heaping plate of chicken seekh kebab. Minced meat worked with spices, grilled on the skewers until they barely hold together. So soft, so rich, and impossible to forget. So that was just the first course that came to us. Amazing. Everything was cooked to perfection. I love that they're still using charcoal when they're cooking in the kitchen. And like I was saying earlier, like in Canada, that's something you cannot find. So you're not going to get those authentic flavors that you're going to get with the charcoal cooking. We've got something very special coming up. So you are not going to want to miss the second course. This is going to be insane.
That's the Sikandari raan.
Wow. Thank you. So our second course consists of all mutton. We've got a variety of dishes, but we have such a spectacular dish here. This is the raan. This is the leg of lamb, and it has been marinated in malt vinegar, which I'm guessing tenderizes the meat, gives it a little bit of sweetness. We've got cinnamon. It's very complex. I mean, look, there was no fight there. It just fell apart. It is so tender. And you can feel that with your hands while you're eating here. Like you pick up the meat and it's so juicy, so tender. This is one of the best dishes here. Let's give it a try. Watch. That is crazy. I love that. So mutton is already a very flavorful meat. The malt vinegar, the cinnamon, there's almost like a sweet richness to it. Got levels of flavors. And the meat, I mean, this has been done to perfection. Made in the Tandoor? Come on. It is so good. All right, we go in for another bite. This is a really, really tender piece here. Wow. That is fantastic. That you have to try if you're coming here. If you're gonna eat anything, have that for sure. All right, so next up is the bara kebab. This is chunks of lamb, bone in. Oh my goodness, this just like broke apart. I meant to pick up the whole thing. There's the chunk itself. This has been marinated in that same malt vinegar as well as yogurt and then just a blend of spices. It is a big chunk, and we're gonna try that bone marrow in a second. Whoa. That's a lot of yogurt. There's a huge layer on top. Now, as Chef JP mentioned earlier, they shave off a lot of fat. So what you're getting is just pure muscle. This is really, really healthy versions of what you can find. Just pure meat. You are not eating fat, and it's really good. It's still very juicy. So check that out. That is straight up bone marrow. I'm gonna try to just suck it right out. Oh, and that's full of flavor too. Wow. Did you hear that come out? That is absolutely incredible. Clean right off the bone. Incredible. What a meal so far. Yeah. Your dal Bukhara. Where did that recipe come from? It must be like a secret recipe of yours.
See, I won't call it secret as such. It's the pattern with which you cook. For how long it is cooked. Obviously, concoction combination of the spices are set. It's like how long you cook. The duration of cooking also matters a lot. Besides the water. Okay. The main ingredient is water. People don't realize. Cooking the same dal here, cooking the same dal in Mumbai, you can bring it near. It cannot be the same. Unless until the water is same.
Oh la la. So I'm gonna start by tearing this up in a nice big piece. Oh, it's so layered and it's so crispy on the outside. And then I'm gonna go in for a giant scoop of the dal. Look how thick that is. Oh, that is gonna be amazing. Let's go, cheers. Oh my God. Wow. That is a very, very nice dal. Since the lentils have been stewing for so many hours, there's almost no texture to them. They go right into like a creamy broth, and it's so thick. Some dals you might get might be a bit more watery. This one, unbelievable. So flavorful. So thick. Like, that is insane. And again, cooked over heat slowly for hours and hours and hours. I can see why everybody loves this dish. And people who eat meat, people who will eat vegetarian, everyone can have this. It ain't pretty, but it's delicious. Look at that. Eating with the hands, there's nothing better. We ate on like warriors. Skewers of mutton seekh kebabs, naan in all its forms, and a platter of tandoori vegetables that turn fire into flavor. Pineapple, paneer, charred peppers, the works. Bukhara was truly living up to its legend. Then came the naan amal, pure they called it, a fermented dough risen just enough, scattered with nuts and coriander, still warm from the tandoor. We were so full, but not done. Chef JP had other plans for us. Dessert was coming, and saying no here is not an option. The last round of food now is the desserts. So originally, Chef JP wanted to bring us all 4 of the desserts that they offer. We are unbelievably full, so we settled for 2. So we went for the least sweet dessert they have on the menu, which is called the firni. And then I'll show you the most sweet dessert that we've also chose, but I'll show you that a little later. But this is like a really nice, thick, milky, creamy dessert. So it's ground up basmati rice. We've got pistachios, we've got almonds with it, and look how thick that is. It's cool. It's served in this earthenware pot. Let's give it a try. It looks really good. Wow. You can taste the basmati rice. Basmati is very aromatic. Flavored with green cardamom. That's really nice. Hardly sweet. There's just a slight sweetness. So if you are not a sweets person, but you want something to satisfy you after the meal, this is definitely for you. And just look how thick that is. It's really quite cool as well. That's really nice. So from their least sweet dessert to maybe one of the sweetest desserts on this planet, gulab jamun. This is one of my guilty pleasures of life. It's one of my favorite desserts of all time. So it's basically this milk solid. This is a giant version of it, by the way, but a milk solid that has been just soaking in a rich sugar syrup. Yeah, we've got this one topped with pistachio. It's been made with cardamom, and it's been deep fried to perfection. Now, look at the sugar syrup. You can just see it. This thing is beyond sweet. And he said that if you start with this and work your way down the sweetness scale, you're not even going to taste the other desserts. So save this one for last. Look at that. You can get small versions of this. This is a pretty massive portion. Not surprised because you saw the amount of food we ate. This matches everything. Let's go. Oh my God. That is divine. If you've never, ever tried a gulab jamun and you come to India, come straight here. This might be one of the best versions you'll have of it. That is insane. So the top coat, because it's been fried, it's not crispy, but it's definitely got like a certain chewiness to it. And then the inside is just super saturated in syrup. It soaks up every little bit of the sugar syrup. Becomes so sweet. Wow. Divine. I have no words for that. That is amazing. Bukhara. Where does the name come from?
Today what you call Bukhara was also a part of India at one time. All that Myanmar to all other places, they were all a part of India. And that one time it was never like it's a different country or something like that. So Bukhara, also during the Silk Route, when the travelers used to travel around from European countries to India and from China, they used to normally get together there, share their thoughts, their businesses, their eating culture. That's how it transpires. And in literal meaning, Bukhara does not come from that Bukhara. So that Bukhara food is totally different. Okay. Here, with the Indian nomadic food, where people used to do a spit fire and then you burn the whole animal and then you eat.
Yeah.
Also, the major part of it used to get charred and burned. You couldn't eat the full distance.
Yeah.
So it was nomadic food which was cultured, rectified, and modified and brought to a culture within a 5-star hotel. We were the first hotel, a 5-star hotel where such kebabs or the bread things were started. Today, if you open a restaurant only with kebabs, probably it will not run. But this is one and as a unique restaurant which is doing great since so many years.
Yeah.
And the menu, people don't get tired looking at it. This has never changed.
Yeah.
Neither the wood, neither the print.
Yeah.
This entire menu has remained the same from 1978
Yep.
from the inception. And almost 48 years has passed. People are not fed up yet.
Nope.
Today is a global trend where the change of the era of the name of the thing is there. People need a change, but here nobody asked for a change.
Yeah.
And never we felt also good to change the menu.
Yeah.
Many regulars, they come without having a look at the menu. Okay, give me like kebab, raan. So they know the menu by heart, and we have had many families who are having generation-wise they are coming, grandfather to son to grandson. We know a lot of people who come here,
Yeah.
and because we almost cater to 400 plus people every day, there are many people who keep coming every fortnight or a week. On a weekly basis. Sometimes they come with their own family.
Yeah.
Next time they'll come with the business clients.
Yeah.
So many regulars are there. So the name Bukhara itself, we started because that time the cuisine was also new to the place and we wanted to settle down in this. So giving something rustic food, look at the wall, there's nothing not much fancy fare. Either in the garnish of the platter also, it's just a simple onion, cucumber, tomato.
Yeah.
So we wanted to always keep the food rugged.
Yeah.
We wanted to also it must gel with a eating. This is probably one of the restaurants where you are suggested to eat by hands.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't serve cutlery.
Yeah.
And today people ask for, and it's people like foreigners who don't mind because we need to educate them. There are 5 senses. When you use the 6th sense, that's the touch.
Yeah.
You enjoy the food the best.
Yeah.
You leave it not because obviously people wash their hands properly before eating.
Yep.
But eating with hands and eating with any third agent in between the fork and knife and this thing will make a difference in your ultimate palate.
Yeah.
But the taste, the satisfaction what you get eating by hands, you'll never get with the fork and knife. Plus, our food is not that where you need to cut and eat.
Yeah.
You need to eat and full.